Hello, everyone. I am Adam with D&D Beyond. Thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. We're going to dive right in. Latest updates. We released an alpha version of the combat tracker this week, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. We've got a data update this week with armor, weapons, magic items revisited. So this is something that we did again over a year ago, and we want to offer the current look at what's going on upcoming, and then ask me anything. You can ask those right now in chat. Just preface it with question, and I'm going to try to get through as many of them as I can, as I always do. And here we go. So combat tracker, as I said, so it's doing several things right now, and we decided to release this into alpha as it is because we were using it ourselves in our home games, and we saw that it was pretty useful even in its current state. And so it is far from finished. I went onto a stream, I guess it was Tuesday when this released, and said more of the same of this, but I'm reiterating here, far from finished. We know that there is plenty of work still to do, but we love getting feedback as early as we possibly can in the process to make sure that we are going down the right path and that everything is going to come out in the end being as valuable to the community as it possibly can be. And so thanks to everyone who has already been helping us test. We've had a very, very strong response to this. Lots of people trying it out. Lots of people clicking buttons and trying to break things. On Tuesday, you broke, the monster service that was supplying all the information here. So all of that is incredibly valuable for us to catch all of this stuff early, where we can continue to fine tune this and make this into what it needs to be. The D&D player mobile app, I don't even know. I meant to be honest, I meant to actually try to figure out a way that I could take the phone here and make it magically go through the screen, but I don't know how to do that kind of stuff very well. But I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can, show people, and let's see if it'll focus on this. I don't know. Come on, focus here. Focus right here. It's not gonna do it. I have this weird autofocus, but you can see blurrily that there is an app, and I can click through here, and blurrily you can see there is a character sheet right there. Come on, you can do it. You can do it right here. Nope, not going to do it. But we do have an app that's going on. We are testing this at this point in time internally. So all of that is happening inside a player-focused mobile app, and we are terribly excited about that being very, very close to being in subscribers' hands as well for some alpha testing on the player-focused app. We are still working through class feature variants for Unearthed Arcana. We know there's a strong demand for this. We hear about it very consistently, but this is something that, again, I emphasize we need to get right because it's going to have some implications later on if we make some mistakes here at this point in time. So we're having to exercise some caution, and we're also having to make sure that internally our infrastructure is going to be able to support what is needed. So an example of what I mean by that is, as we're coming forward with the encounter builder being in beta at this point, the combat tracker being in alpha, you saw on Tuesday that no matter what load testing we do, something when it gets in a live environment is going to be some kind of different variable that is unknown to us, and then things can happen. And so we figured it out very quickly, and we got things back up and running. With UA class feature variants, this is not something that we're willing to risk at this point in time, because our character management portion of the tool set has been very mature for some time and is in pretty good shape. And so we don't want to introduce factors that could mean somebody is sitting down at the table and they're playing, and all of a sudden they can't access their characters because this huge complex change is coming into play. So we're definitely exercising caution. We don't want interruptions in what's going on with characters for sure. So class feature variants are on the way. It's something that is a very, very high priority on our side. But we'll let you know as soon as we have that in a place that we can start testing that as well. Dice rolling, I literally was just looking on the phone a little bit earlier. If I could do more than just fuzzy for you, I'd show you it rolling on the phone as well. Dice are very, very close. We are in a mode, so the combat tracker came to alpha this week. There are going to be a lot of other alphas that are going to be hitting here very soon, and I'm not even going to trademark it necessarily for folks out there because I'm not being tongue-in-cheek about that. It is a really soon thing. So looking forward to all of that happening. Can't wait to see it. Let's dive into combat tracker feedback just a little bit. The feedback has been, really, really amazing at this point in time. So already 150. This was on day one actually. So these numbers are a little bit old at this point, but 150 forum replies already. 1,300 survey responses just on the first day, which is wonderful. We appreciate that feedback. 8,000 users on that first day started. 12,000 combats, 103,000 next turns were clicked. So lots and lots of button mashing. I'm sure that they weren't real combats. They were just mock combats, but that's great. It still gives us a lot of analytic information that we can work through that is helping us. And clearly we were able to find some of the, load limits that we had, and we were able to fix that even through the first day. So we really do thank you for the engagement and feedback. As always, we could not do any of this without the community, and you really are at the top of our list. And so we really do appreciate you helping us test this in alpha. So the survey results so far, 44% of you say that it solves most of your needs, which actually is a much higher number than we thought we would get at this stage in the alpha, because we are fully aware that this is not a complete tool at all. And so seeing that, almost half of the users that are using it are saying that is a very promising sign here at the beginning. 51% say it's helpful. I completely understand where that other 49% is saying that maybe it's not crossing that threshold yet. But again, before we get into public beta, we're going to try to rerun some of this survey. I'm pretty sure that by the time we get there, that number is going to be much, much higher. 73% like the look and feel. That's great. 82% say that it improves focus at the table, which is definitely a big part of the goals of what we're trying to accomplish. So that's great. And then 65% think it's fun to use. So really useful information, even qualitatively here. So we appreciate everyone that's taking the survey. And if you haven't done that, be sure to get your feedback in. So continued, the delights so far, monster initiative entry, being able to auto roll, that makes a lot of sense. That's a big, big draw of what we're doing here. Ease of advancing turns. It's the interface is going to end up working just fine, being able to view monsters like you can without opening multiple tabs. All of this makes sense, and we expected to see those delights. The difficulties, tracking and adjusting hit points, we get it. We definitely get it. We know that is missing, and as we consciously release this, knowing that was not in place, but it is something that's a priority that will be in place. Adding combatants. So after you click run, if somebody comes into the combat, is not easy enough. It's too generic. It's not capturing what you need. This is really, really great feedback for us to fine tune that. And then auto rolling for PCs. So we're missing character data, character stat blocks, or some approximation of a stat block is missing. So all of those are things that are planned and things that we are going to be working on getting into the combat tracker. So hopefully in the coming weeks, you're going to continue to see iterative solution value that's being parsed out throughout the course of the alpha. Continue to give us your feedback as we add new things. Feel free to let us know whether that's a delight or a difficulty. And we're going to get this pointed in the right direction. And we're going to make sure that this ends up being what the community really needs out of the combat tracking portion of this. Somebody is telling me before we get too much into upcoming, somebody's telling me that if I cover my face with the phone, because the camera thinks that it is like, my face is what. So if I cover my face with the phone, let's see what actually. Oh, well, I got to be able to hold on to it. Hold on. Let's see. See if I can do it. Cover my face with the phone. All right. So let's see if I can then zoom in without it. Let's get rid of my face. Get rid of my face. Nope, not happening. Oh, wait. Yes, get the sunlight out of here. All right, so you can see it's starting to come together. All right, now let me see if this will work. Let me see if this will work. I don't know if it will or not. Get out of here, face. Focus. Yeah. So it's a real app. I promise. It's a real app, and it's starting to come together. So, all right, we did it. Now my face is fuzzy. It's coming back. I emerged. All right. So thanks for the pro tips out there about how I can wrestle with my autofocus on my crazy camera here in my office studio. So it is a real app, and it's going to really, really blow your socks off. So really looking forward to when that comes out. Upcoming. So these are some things, again, these priorities can shift and change depending on the needs of the community, depending on feedback that we get from other a variety of sources. But a couple of things that we are currently targeting as potentials for next work: AL support, inventory enhancements. We do have Explorer's Guide to Wildmount coming out on March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So March the 17th, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount is going to be fully available for everyone on D&D Beyond. And then we do have Dev Update, a community musical. So by my reckoning, it looks like that is going to be next week. So next week, we are going to be doing a musical. It is really, really silly. And so next week, we did a little bit of dress rehearsal, we'll call it, and that's the crew up there doing a little bit of fun for the musical that is coming next week. So it's going to be something, is what I'm going to tell you. It is definitely going to be something, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's look at some data as well. Okay, armor equipped. So we looked at this a little over a year ago, and not much has changed at all across the 25 million characters that we're up to here on D&D Beyond. Leather armor is the clear winner here. Shield, which, yeah, it's technically classified as armor, so it's in there. But a lot of people, 26% of characters are using shields and equipping them. Chainmail is the next. So leather chainmail and then studded leather. This is not surprising really at all, because this is stuff that you start with. And most characters, as we have shown many times in the past, are lower level on D&D Beyond. Probably, again, for a variety of reasons. Could be, characters that are played, but then they are parked and the games never go past that. Or it could just simply be that they are theory crafted characters that, update hit points and some of this kind of stuff, the stuff that we use to try to determine whether something is active or not. But either way, low level play, we have a very good sense that low level play is the most popular place. Again, based on how the game works and how progression works, it all makes sense. So those two are the top, starting things you're going to see those as the top equipped items as well. You see that 2% of those characters out there have plate armor, which I find fascinating because it seems like that is the thing that you're going for, that you need to get as a melee focused character that has heavy armor proficiency. So a staggering 32% of the 25 million characters we have on D&D Beyond are wearing leather armor. I actually think that that is a very, very high number. And then 18% are wearing chainmail. So the more expensive armor types are not incredibly widely equipped across characters. So the top 25 weapons equipped, the dagger is the undisputed king. Undisputed king. And so daggers are also available as starting equipment, so that part makes sense. Everyone has access to simple weapons, of which a dagger is. So all of this, I think, makes a lot of sense. But then after that, you get into barely short sword is in second place, hand axe and light crossbows popular again, and then rapier wins out for any of the swords out there. And then you see that everything else is very, very close and just descends from there. So rapier is the king of blades here, of swords rather. Hand axe, or no, short sword. I'm sorry, short sword. I'm forgetting short sword because I think about those little sneaky characters that use short swords. I'm not really counting that as a sword, but it should be counted as a sword. So short sword is there, and then rapier is more popular than long sword, which I find very fascinating. I think we're going to look into some data at some point about how many melee combatants out there are using finesse weapons. So we need to add that to the list. I'm kind of curious at this point, with rapier being slightly more distributed, are people, are fighters using it? Is that one of the reasons plate maybe isn't as popular as I would imagine it being? Because maybe fighters are using dexterity because it's such a we won't say a god stat or anything, but we will say that it is a very helpful stat in the game. So yeah, there are some other things that we could potentially dig into there, but this is the list of top 25 weapons equipped across the 25 million characters we have on DDB. Magic items equipped. Now, equipped here simply means that it's activated, on your character sheet. So some of these, it might not make the most sense to say that they are equipped, but it means that you're actually, using that item and checking to make it active on your character sheet. So the bag of holding is the most widely equipped, ring of protection and cloak of protection. So those are very, very useful magic items especially for the rarity that they have and for the bonus that they give. A bonus to saving throws and a bonus to armor class is definitely a very powerful thing in 5th edition. And so it makes a lot of sense that these would be very widely distributed. Boots of Elvenkind, bracers of defense, +1 shield. So 26% of characters equip shields. And so you see that a +1 shield, slightly higher distribution than many magic items around it. Lots of stealth going on with the boots and cloak of Elvenkind being pretty close to the top. It is fascinating to me that the +1 longsword is going to end up being higher in distribution than the +1 rapier, even though the rapier is more widely used. So maybe that could be that adventures. I noticed that a lot of adventures out there. So this is maybe a tip for adventure designers on the DM's Guild or anywhere else. Maybe vary some of the weaponry that you're putting down, because there are a lot of long swords, +1 long swords out in the world. Maybe make it a little, interesting by including, a longbow every now and then, perhaps. your archer characters out there are going to really appreciate me saying that. So this is the top 25 magic items equipped. The what is that? What is that ridiculous item that makes mayonnaise? I can't remember what it's called. What is the? It's the alchemy jug. So the alchemy jug is not on this list. As well, it should not be. That probably should be stricken from the game because it creates disgusting substances like mayonnaise.